After a concerned student stopped a laptop thief on campus, DPS is investigating whether the suspect is linked to other campus crimes at USC.
Dozens of workers are protesting recent layoffs by a popular clothing brand.
One street near Dodger Stadium is getting a bit of a makeover, and surrounding residents have mixed feelings about the change. Annenberg TV News is next.
Live from USC, you're watching Annenberg TV News.
A suspect is in custody after almost making it off campus with 3 laptops belonging to USC students. Students called for DPS when they saw a suspected computer thief walking around the Tudor Campus Center. Good evening, I'm Priscilla Casper.
And I'm Daniel Tran. A student happened to see the man running from officers and decided to take action. DPS took one person into custody after a brief chase on campus. DPS says the suspect stole 3 laptops from the undergraduate student government office and Levy Library. The department's cameras allowed officers to locate the person. When they arrived, the suspect took off. The chase ended when a student tackled the suspect. Other officers responded and took the man into custody. He complained of asthma and was treated on the scene. Although the man was not affiliated with the university, DPS says he was on their radar.
It was someone unknown to USC, but actually someone that we had been looking for before. And that's why we're kind of hoping that we can tie up a lot of things with regard to this individual.
The case is now being handled by the Los Angeles Police Department's Southwest Division. With more on what happened, let's toss it over to Whitney Ashton and the student who helped stop the suspected thief.
Thanks, Daniel. Here with me now is Yuri Rahimi. Thanks for joining us today, Yuri. So take me back to earlier today. What was running through your mind when you saw this man fleeing from DPS officers?
Well, my friend Jacob and I were walking back from lunch, and we're on Truesdale, and we see a guy, a rather plump fellow, running pretty fast, and then shortly behind him is a DPS officer who seems to be running out of gas. So I checked the tank, knew I had maybe like 100, 150 yards in me, and I gave it a shot. And next thing you know, I see him turn the corner, almost about to get off the campus, and I jump on him, and within, he's on the floor, and within a few minutes or a few seconds, DPS apprehends him.
So we know that the suspect complained of an asthma attack shortly after the pursuit. Did you have any injuries? Because you said he was a little bit bigger than you were.
Well, I mean, bigger from the standpoint that he's like fat. So no, I don't have any injuries. I think it's funny that somebody with his physique would actually try to outrun anybody.
So what prompted you to begin the chase? That was obviously a split-second decision, and you decided to go for it. What were you thinking when you did that?
Well, I mean, I would imagine that DPS has like a good reason to chase after him. I think they're doing it for fun, so I would imagine that he did something wrong. So I just tried to do what I can.
And a lot of people on campus today have been referring to you as a hero. What do you say to that?
That's funny. I don't think it was particularly heroic, but I appreciate that.
All right, well, thank you for joining us tonight, Yuri. We appreciate you taking the time to talk with us, and we'll toss it back to you, Priscilla.
Yeah, thanks, Whitney. Well, with the New York primary 1 week away, the candidates are vying for all-important delegates. Annenberg Media's Tommy Brooksbank has the latest. Tommy?
Thanks, Priscilla. The California primary is still 57 days away, but that didn't discourage Ted Cruz from campaigning in Southern California today. The Texas senator held several events, including a rally in Irvine and a guest appearance on a local radio show.
California is going to decide the Republican nomination for president.
Republican frontrunner Donald Trump told Fox News today that 2 of his adult children missed the voter registration deadline for the next New York primary next week and will not be able to vote for their father. Meanwhile, John Kasich campaigned in upstate New York today, hoping to sway voters before the state's Republican primary next week. Kasich has attracted some of the largest crowds of the campaign in the Empire State.
You know, you got to go out and hunt delegates. That's part of what this is about. So, everybody's been talking about who wins what thing, and I keep telling people it's about accumulating delegates, which is what, it's now coming clear to you that the hunt for delegates really matters.
One political analyst says that while the California primary may be pivotal, in the Republican race, it will become even more important if Trump doesn't win the New York primary.
California is in play in the Republican side no matter what. California comes more into play if New York is either super close or if Trump loses it.
On the other side of the aisle, Hillary Clinton and Bernie Sanders also campaigned in New York today. Both candidates have strong ties to the Northeast state.
Senator Sanders has had trouble answering questions. So I look forward to a debate that is in New York with people asking the kind of questions that New Yorkers ask.
The latest Monmouth University poll has Clinton up by 12 points, but Sanders says that after winning 7 of the last 8 primaries, he has the momentum.
What may have been considered unrealistic or pie in the sky just a few years ago has now been achieved in New York because you made it happen. I will be damned if we're going to see the American dream die.
Now, several student organizations at USC want to encourage students to register to vote before the California primaries. The USC Chinese American Student Association teamed up with OCA Greater Los Angeles today to help students become more civically engaged.
What we were trying to do was to get students on campus to vote.
I figured it should be my duty as an American, I guess, to come out and register myself to vote, and I should exercise my rights.
The last day to register for the California primary is May 23rd. This year's college students could influence the outcome of the presidential race. Back to you guys at the desk.
Thanks, Tommy. A study released today shows that if you are poor and black in California, you are much more likely to have your driver's license suspended for failure to pay traffic fines and fees. According to the report, which was published by a coalition of civil rights and legal advocacy groups, black people in Los Angeles County make up 9.2% of the population, yet they are 32.5% of those are arrested for driving with a suspended license due to unpaid traffic fines and fees. White people are 26.8% of the country's residents, yet only 12.3% of those are arrested for driving with a suspended license due to unpaid traffic fines and fees. From 2013 to 2015, the Los Angeles Sheriff's Department arrested and charged nearly 20,000 people for driving with a suspended license. 85% of them were people of color.
If you do drive with a suspended license, then you're committing a misdemeanor, which of course is a violation of parole or probation as well. So it really just, once you get that first ticket, if you can't afford to pay several $100s up front, you just get trapped in a cycle of poverty, unemployment, and incarceration.
A hearing is scheduled tomorrow in Sacramento on a bill that would stop the practice of suspending licenses for failure to pay or failure to appear in court.
Dozens of workers rallied outside American Apparel headquarters today in downtown Los Angeles to protest worker layoffs. American Apparel fired more than 500 workers last week after the company filed for bankruptcy. The General Brotherhood of Workers of American Apparel declared an international boycott of the clothing store.
There's more people getting laid off, the company's sales are down, and they're pretty much destroying the whole concept of American Apparel because it's fair wages and sweatshop free. So these workers will no longer have benefits and life quality anymore.
Annenberg Media reached out to American Apparel but has not yet received a response.
Dodger Stadium officially has a new address to recognize one of the team's greatest broadcasters, Vince Scully. Annenberg Media's Kelly Rinke talked to fans and some who are not happy about the new street name.
This may be Vince Scully's last season as a Dodger sportscaster, but his name is staying.
Let's go Dodgers!
Crews took down the Elysian Park Avenue street sign today to replace it with Vince Scully Avenue. Now the stadium has a new address, and more than 100 fans came to celebrate with Scully.
I have to thank Almighty God, first of all, for allowing me to be this old and to continue to do something that I've loved all my life.
For 67 years, Dodger fans have heard Vince Scully's voice, and that's exactly what they'll miss when he retires after this season.
You have taught us all Dodgers. You have been the voice and the heart and the soul of this city.
Maybe on the final day of my final broadcast, I'll somehow come up with the magic words, that you deserve.
Many Dodger fans who have been watching games for decades were excited to be at the stadium to see the address change.
I get to bring my kids here eventually and say, yeah, I was here when they dedicated it.
But some are not in support of removing this sign. They say taking it down erases some of the history of Elysian Park.
Only 13 people responded to the letter saying, are you in for or against this name change? 10 people said no, 3 people say yes, and they still went with the name change.
Residents near the stadium say the city also did not inform them about the change soon enough.
The people that live in the street have to go to the DMV, have to change their addresses.
But some say the new street name is the perfect way to remember the voice of the Dodgers.
Whenever you came to a baseball game, the only thing you left with was Vince Scully's voice.
Tomorrow, Dodger fans will be driving to this address for opening day against the Diamondbacks. For Annenberg Media, I'm Kelly Rinke.
The California Science Center is preparing to welcome the latest addition to their space shuttle exhibit.
The Center for Women and Men is partnering with the Interfraternity Council to educate students on campus about sexual assault.
And we'll take you to a restaurant about 15 minutes from campus offering the best eats from El Salvador.
It takes less than 1 minute to find out if you may have prediabetes. You can do it here. But you probably won't. You're busy. Kids, work, show coming back in 48 seconds. So let's do this now. Hold up 1 finger if you're a man, women 0. 3 more fingers if you're over 60, 2 over 50, 1 over 40. If you're not sure, keep in mind you're sitting on a couch right now, so 1 more finger if you're not very active. 1 finger if yes, 0 if no. 1 yes, 0 no. Next, find the body type that looks most like you and hold up that many fingers while I look around awkwardly. And that's it. If you're holding up 5 fingers or more, you probably have prediabetes. Sorry to be so blunt, but hey, you're busy. Just go to the site.
I adopted Bento in 2010 from a shelter. As it turns out, we have very similar personalities. And this cat makes me make art because he's always motivating me to take pictures of him, to draw pictures of him. He just is motivating artistically. It's just that simple. Well, he's my best friend, but a lot of people know him as Keyboard Cat.
The USC Center for Women and Men is hosting a Sexual Assault Awareness Week on campus. The center hopes to spark dialogue about sexual assault, foster healing, and inspire change in our community.
Come sign the pledge against sexual assault.
Earlier today, students stopped by an education and resources table on Truesdale to learn more about sexual assault prevention. IFC collected over 100 student signatures pledging support to stop sexual assault. Here are the events put on for the week. They range from a Q&A with an LA District Attorney talking about sexual assault to a panel discussion about faith-supported healing from sexual trauma. There will also be screenings of The Hunting Ground and Take Back the Yak. Well, joining us here in the studio is USC IFC President Nick Mass. Thank you so much for being here. And I know today you were out on Truesdale. How did it go?
It went great. It was the first day to our 3-day campaign for It's On Us, and it went fantastic. We had over 100 members of the USC community stop by and sign the pledge. That's just the beginning. Tomorrow we'll have the stickers going on the banner, and we hope to have over 200 students sign up for that.
That's great. And what do you want IFC to get out of hosting this week?
Well, not just IFC, but we really hope to bring in the entire USC Greek community to raise awareness for the issue of sexual assault on campus and be able to provide support and the right resources to survivors. And the end goal is to just eradicate sexual assault from our campus altogether.
And at the table today, you were kind of talking about how people can prevent themselves from getting sexually assaulted. What are, the top 3 tips you tell students?
Well, to not get sexually assaulted, I think the number one thing is to look out for you and your friends, to keep yourself out of dangerous places. Obviously, alcohol is very often related to sexual assault, so to not overconsume alcohol yourself, but also to stay away from those who may have consumed too much alcohol.
And just, one more last question. You're hosting this week to spark dialogue about sexual assault. Do you have any plans to continue on this dialogue for the rest of the semester and, continuing on to the next year?
Absolutely. Well, this campaign is really aimed at raising awareness to the entire USC community. We've done additional behind-the-scenes educational workshops for our chapter leaders. On tomorrow night, we're hosting mandatory educational workshops for all new members. And then starting in the fall, we hope to enroll about 24 students in the Voice program through the Center for Women and Men.
Wow, that sounds great. Well, thank you so much, Nick, for being here with us. Also this week, if you have any jeans or denim items you want to donate, IFC and the Office of Equity and Diversity will be hosting a denim drive until April 27th to raise awareness about homeless survivors of sexual trauma. Back to you, Daniel.
Thanks, Priscilla. Now, it was pretty rainy this past weekend, but now the sun has returned. Let's toss it over to Veronica Casada, our weather anchor, to see what's going on. Veronica?
Thanks, Dan. Yeah, we had rain throughout the whole weekend, but we are now back to our dry weather, and we probably won't see that rain anytime soon. But first, let's take a look at the current conditions. Right now, we're at 71 degrees, back with that warm weather. Tomorrow, we're going to be in the 50s up in Big Bear, 53, Riverside down by 75, and moving up north, we will have 70s up in the valley, 66 right down by the coast in Malibu, and tomorrow for USC we will have 68 degrees on campus, 68 also in Long Beach, 73 in Ontario. Now moving on to the 5-day forecast, we're going to have sunshine throughout the whole week, again up in the 70s and 69 degrees on Tuesday, starting the weekend off with 77 degrees on Saturday. Now for this week's Venture with Veronica, we take a look at Con Sabor, which means with flavor. It's a restaurant only 15 minutes away from USC, and it serves authentic food from El Salvador. Con Sabor is a pupuseria. That's a restaurant selling pupusas and other Salvadorian food.
The typical food from over there are pupusas, fried plantains, cassava, and chicken breads.
Pupusas were created almost 3,000 years ago by the Pipil tribes that lived in the territory that is now El Salvador.
It's made with a dough that is stuffed with cheese and fried pork, or cheese and beans. We have different types of pupusas.
Chef Claudia Pineda says the food is important to Salvadorians like herself because it creates a link to their home country.
I miss everything. The lakes over there, it's more free, more fun. I miss it every day. At least I have the food.
Con Sabor's other specialty is fried plantains, which is served with beans and Salvadorian sour cream. Con Sabor is located on Adams and Redondo Boulevard, and the pupusas are perfect for college students at only $3 each.
Those looked amazing, by the way.
They taste just as amazing.
They do. I will have to try that. Alrighty, let's toss it over to Daniel.
The California Science Center is preparing to welcome a neighbor that takes up half a football field. External fuel tank ET-94 was never used in flight, but is finding a new home with the center's space shuttle Endeavour. The 65,000-pound fuel tank is the last of its kind in the world. The external tank will be attached to the space shuttle Endeavour and displayed in 2018. Now, after leaving New Orleans here at the NASA manufacturing plant, it'll make its way down towards Panama through the Panama Canal and go all the way up to Los Angeles. Now, in Los Angeles, it'll be docked here in Marina del Rey, where it'll go down and make a 12-mile journey towards the California Science Center. It'll pass LA landmarks like LAX, make its way down, make that turn onto La Brea, go around the Forum on Manchester Boulevard, and then make its way all the way up to the California Science Center across the street from USC, where it'll be temporarily stored in a fabric building outside the Science Center. The tank is expected to arrive on May 21st after 6 to 8 weeks of travel. The exhibit will be the only place in the world where people can see a complete shuttle stack with all real flightwear. Man, Randall, Kobe Bryant is ending his career, and I don't know what to do, man.
Yeah, man, I know. I hate to break it to you, but I feel like the tickets to see the Black Mamba play might be a little bit too expensive for the both of us.
Yeah, no kidding.
I'm sorry to break it to you, but coming up, I'll tell you how much it will cost to see number 24 lace him up for one last time. And we will catch up with those undefeated women of Troy. Don't go anywhere. ATVN Sports is next.
The graphic.
It's a short ride from your neighborhood to your naturehood. To find a neighborhood park or green space near you, visit discovertheforest.org.
Me and my boy Matt had it good. He had catnip that was off the hook. But one day, he brings a girl home, and she's allergic to cats. Every sneeze was a nail in my coffin. Now I'm in a shelter. It's decent, but they don't even have Wi-Fi.
The top-ranked and still undefeated women's water polo team got a big win over crosstown rival number 2 ranked UCLA to remain number 1 in the MPSF conference. The women of Troy took a close one with UCLA, only winning by 3 before blowing out the Redlands 23-0. These ladies have been passing every test with flying colors. With just 2 regular season games left, it begs the question, is there anybody who can match up?
You know, I'm excited, always on my toes, always a little nervous, but you know, with a team like Stanford, it's going to be like just like playing UCLA or any of the top teams. And we're going to see what they bring to the table and what we bring to the table a week from now.
The ladies will continue their quest for the perfect season as they travel to Palo Alto to face Stanford this Saturday. They will wrap up regular season play here at home against Cal. The number 1 ranked men's golf team is in action today as they compete in the Western Intercollegiate in Santa Cruz, California. After the first round of play, the Trojans came in 3rd behind Oregon and Stanford. Rico Hoy and Justin Sue are both tied for 3rd overall at 3 under. They play tomorrow in the 2nd round, and it will kick off at 8:45 a.m. The Trojans will look to improve their play in the later rounds to finish off the regular season. On a high note, and a win would have the top-ranked Trojans feeling even more confident as they head into the Pac-12 championships. USC men's tennis got another Pac-12 win, beating Utah 4-1 in Salt Lake City this weekend. The Trojans now boast a 5-game conference winning streak.
Will give us good momentum going to UCLA. We play UCLA Sunday, which should be a pretty big match, just for not only rankings but also because SC versus UCLA. So that should give us good momentum.
The Trojans will finish off the regular season against the UCLA Bruins here at Mark Stadium this Sunday. The game will start at 12:30 in the afternoon and will be broadcast on the Pac-12 network. USC baseball is coming off a pretty good weekend in Utah. The Trojans lost yesterday to 14-8 despite a late rally. However, they still managed to take the series at home, getting 2 wins out of 3. The Trojans are now at 500 with 15 wins and 15 losses on the season. Tomorrow they will make the short trip to face Pepperdine in Malibu tomorrow. The Los Angeles Rams released their schedule for the first 4 preseason games today, and it hurts me to say that they will be opening up the 2016 season against my Dallas Cowboys. The Rams will open the 2016 season at the Coliseum against the Cowboys, and then they will continue to break in their new home against the Kansas City Chiefs. They will go on the road for their last 2 preseason games to face the defending Super Bowl champion Denver Broncos, and then finish off with the Minnesota Vikings. Ticket prices are soaring in Los Angeles and Oakland as fans prepare for one of the most epic season finales in NBA history. According to StubHub, the average ticket to see Kobe Bryant play in his last basketball game is $971. Meanwhile, in Oakland, fans are breaking the bank to have a chance to witness the best regular season finish in history by the Golden State Warriors. According to ESPN, one Laker fan bought 2 tickets for $55,000. The cheapest seats are about $685, so no matter where you sit in Staples Center, it will be expensive. The number 24 ranked USC women's tennis team has been flying under the radar, but is quietly undefeated in the Pac-12 play. A big part of that success is my rising star, freshman Jessica Faila. Faila helped the women of Troy get a sweep over Arizona State to keep a perfect conference record. She provided key wins in the doubles and the singles to help the women of Troy complete a dominant match in Mark Stadium.
It was really exciting. I think it gave me a lot of confidence that all my teammates were winning too. So I knew that if I lost, they were right there to back me up. So I wasn't even thinking about it. I was just focusing on playing my game.
Faila and the women of Troy will put their unblemished Pac-12 record on the line against UCLA this Sunday afternoon in Mark Stadium. So, who can I borrow $685 from?
Oh, how about $2,000?
I'm trying to get to see Kobe.
How about $55,000? I really want those courtside seats.
I know you got it, Dan. You got the $685?
Yeah, I got it right here in my coat pocket. Sure.
No, Priscilla, you You got a few on me? Just in case I want to sit courtside.
Oh, okay. I got you. Right? Yeah.
I won't hold my breath.
All right, thanks, Randall. All right, get out your best photos. We're celebrating your dogs, cats, guinea pigs, and fish.
Yeah, no matter what kind of pet you have, we have a great reason to give them some love today.
The earthquakes you see in movies are one thing, but real life is a completely different animal. Just because you can't predict an earthquake doesn't mean that you can't prepare for one. In the event of a real earthquake, you should drop, cover, and hold on. Visit ready.gov/earthquake and practice what to do to keep you and your family safe in the event of a real earthquake. And you'll be seen as a hero by your family and your loved ones.
Visit ready.gov/earthquake today.
Hey, look, it's those guys.
What's up? What's happening today? Let's those pearly whites, man. Yeah. The boys, check it.
Ooh, cute. Are you good to try?
I'm fine. Hey girl, what's up? What's the name? What's good? What's up?
How many did you have?
I should be fine.
You should be.
Sir, go and step out of the vehicle for me.
Yes, sir. See ya, buddy. Today, Sean's got a hearing. We'll see how it goes. Good luck. So turns out, buzz driving and drunk driving, they're the same thing, and it costs around $10,000. So not worth it.
Time to give furry and non-furry companions their due. Today is National Pet Day. Founded in 2006 by animal welfare advocate Colleen Page, National Pet Day is a day to celebrate the joy of having a pet and bring awareness about animals who are still looking for their forever homes. If you are thinking about adopting, be sure to check out your local animal shelter.
Can I borrow somebody's pet?
You can have mine.
I don't have one.
Mine will bark your ear off until.
Well, maybe not Veronica's.
If
Everybody else got a.
Hey, if you
Daniel
want,
has 2 chickens,
yeah, if you want
so
2 chickens, I will gladly give you one.
If you want them back, so not.
Tell me what you got. You got some.
I have 2 long-haired chihuahuas.
Okay, you know what? I think I'm just gonna appreciate from afar.
Yeah. I mean, chickens are very affectionate animals, and they give you eggs. So I say that chickens are the way to go.
You say so. I'll go with that.
Well, thanks for watching, everybody. From Annenberg TV News, from everyone, I'm Daniel Tran.
And I'm Priscilla Casper. You can catch us on the web at uscannenbergmedia.com. Good night.
God damn.
I want to play with your chicken.